All right, boom. So this video is just kind of a introduction for the setup, basically. And I didn't really clean anything up. Whoops, sorry. All right, but basically what I got was an iPad mini here. And so I had an iPad, I had an iPad Pro, and it was a 12.9. I've got it in that drawer actually, but the screen wasn't working. Like it would just go black, you know, whatever. So obviously tried to do things. And so I was iPadless for a while and I didn't mind it. I was like, okay, I don't really miss it. Like I didn't do anything productive on the iPad. It's like I would grab the iPad because I had an iPad, you know. Oh, I've got an iPad. I should think of a reason to use that iPad. And then, you know, so anyways, I didn't have one, and then time went on, and this maybe sounds silly, but interestingly enough, I kind of wanted to journal. And I've got some, you know, journaling things and planning, just kind of organizing. So there's always the sayings of like, you know, if the captain doesn't know where his port is, you know, there's no direction is the right direction. So I totally butchered that, but something along those lines. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out how to come up with a plan for myself. So anyways, that's a long introduction on like why I got this. And that's necessary because for me and how I'm going to use the iPad, it's specific for that. So this isn't a video that's just like, oh, how will you use an iPad? This is a video of like, this is how I'm going to use my iPad. So maybe someone who's watching this will be able to have like a comment and a tip for me, or maybe someone will get something from this. Either way, I'm just kind of having some fun and checking things out. So, but right. It's interesting because I've got, we're really, so this is going to be a series. So this is going to be an introduction. I was going to kind of skip into things, but I'm going to set the stage here. So basically, I don't know, you can't see it. I've got a MacBook Pro, 14-inch, you know, M1, and that's like my work hub. That's where I get everything done on the MacBook. And then like I said, sometimes I find myself doing things on technology that I don't need to. So on my MacBook, it's like, boom, I used to have everything synced and everything was all synced to everything. And I was trying to do all of everything from every single device. And, you know, anyways, I'm switching away from that. It didn't work out very well. So I'm trying out some new stuff. And the next thing is like, controlled separation. So some things will sync, some things won't. And I used to be all Apple everything, you know. I'll just kind of go over. Yeah, it was all Apple everything. So Apple Watch Ultra, iPhone 16 Pro right there. Like I said, I had the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, and then the MacBook Pro, and then I got a Mac Mini, and I got an Apple TV, I got 2 HomePods, I have AirPlay enabled audio equipment, I have HomeKit electrical devices, you know, for plugs and for switches. So it's like I still do like I'm still like in the ecosystem, and I'm kind of running things tandem right now. And essentially what I'm going to be doing is, man, it's like the thing, my camera keeps focusing on something here. Keeps on focusing on that. All right. But yeah, so I'm kind of switching my devices up. And I'm figuring out, you know, things that I don't need. I already kind of had a video where I was switching away from some Apple services, I believe. Anyways, man. We're 4 minutes in and I haven't even talked anything about the iPad mini really yet, so sorry. But setting the stage. And so anyways, what is the intended use case for this iPad mini. Like I said, for me, it's going to be like a planner. This is kind of going to be my planner hub. So that's setting the stage. I've got freeform synced on this one. I actually don't have notes synced, kind of keeping some stuff just on device. Not like I'm hiding anything. It's just one of those like sovereignty things. Let's go with that. Sovereignty. Getting closer. All right, but anyway, so here we go. This is the device. This is the iPad mini. And that's kind of what I got for the home screen there. I don't think that there's anything set up. It's very simple. I pretty much don't have any app downloaded other than the ChatGPT. I do use that decently. But man, so this thing, the device is super cool. So, you know, it's pretty, well, the thing is I was about to say it's pretty smooth. Honestly, the first thing that I noticed on this device was how not smooth it felt. It just didn't feel smooth at all. And it still doesn't. So I'm still working with that, to be honest. But I don't know. It's super, like, I don't know if we'll be able to see. I'm going to just try to pull up like a website. I mean, here's the Apple website. It's tough because you can't really see it on camera, but I'll tell you what, you know, when you're using the iPad mini next to your iPhone, you're like, it feels like you just went back in time. It's like, what is going on, man? Even if the processor's able to handle the stuff fast, the experience is just super impacted, you know, and it doesn't feel good. The experience it doesn't feel smooth. But the reason that that's fine for me is because for the most part, I'm like, let me see, I don't want to show any specific apps I don't even have any notes. So, but, well, I've got one note that I was working on. So maybe we'll just see. Here we go. So we'll just kind of see. I don't know. It's just, you know. So that's fine. And then, because my idea that I was saying was, this is more of a focused device. So I'm going to be coming in here, and for the most part, I'm not necessarily going to be switching from app to app. So the slowness, the laggy display that makes you feel like you're using a device from like the 80s or something like that, it doesn't matter as much because I'm in the application that I'm going to be using. And then this is just kind of the intro video, which we're getting a while, but I use universal control as well. So I got to do some videos where I'm doing interactive stuff for engagement, but it's pretty cool to use it with universal control sitting on the side, and then I can type with the keyboard and mouse, and I don't really notice the lagginess at all unless if I try to use control center or something like that. But let me just see if I can. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've got a pretty good, it's like a technology orchestration planner that I was doing. Okay, so that might be, you know, I'll see if we can kind of, you know, so it's not too bad. You know, we're in there and it's pretty good, you know, zooming in and out. It's pretty good. But then let me see. We'll go to one that's got a little more material on there. And, it basically was lagging out. I wasn't sure if it was clicking it or not. So this one, you know, we've got quite a bit more going on. So we'll just see if you can kind of gauge, you know, what we got. Like, it's not too bad, but it's just like, it's just not as smooth, man. And the interesting thing is like on the freeform here. So let's see, this is just some of these things that I got to plan here. Like this and me using this, it's actually smoother than it is on the MacBook. I've got the M1 Max 64 gig RAM MacBook, and freeform like runs smoother on the iPad mini here. Anyways, that was a incoherent ramble of how I'm going to use this device. And that's just the intro. I'll try to be a little more organized next time. We're already 10 minutes in on there. So that's the setup. We've got iPad mini. Dude, I didn't even talk about anything like specific. Sorry. I'm still going to upload this video because all of that stuff is relevant. iPad mini for journaling, focus, planning, not getting distracted. Boom, there we go. And one of the cool things that I was super excited about, well, I don't have any boards up. I don't even know how to draw, but I just thought it was cool that I'll be able to draw. I got the Apple Pencil here, so I'm always interested in drawing things, and I never was able to, so I would like. Actually, that was the first time I've drawn anything on the iPad. Let's see how that works. That feels pretty quick, actually. So, how do I like this? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not bad. And that being said, I did plan a little bit ahead and got this. Not sponsored. Every single iPad video I watched was sponsored, and they got me, man. For many years I've known about that, but I kind of thought that would be, instead of using a physical paper journal, I can do the paper like screen protector on here, and then maybe this is good. But I've never really been a handwriting person, so this is something that I was just going to try out. And it feels pretty cool so far. I really think that, if I'm going to use the pen much, yeah, I totally think that I'm going to like that screen protector. So I actually didn't even touch base on my actual phone switch, because we'll just keep things going. I'm actually Graphene OS. I'm going to switch from the iPhone and switching to the Graphene OS phone with the Garmin Tactics watch. So I definitely have a lot of videos that I kind of want to make where I'm talking about how I'm going to use this technology, like the structure of it, and then I think it would be pretty cool because maybe there'd be some good ideas. And the thing is to use the technology as a tool and not like think of a reason to use any of the stuff. So just one thing that I'll end on here is I've got a Garmin Tactics watch. This is the 7, not the 8. The 8 just came out. That's fine. We've got the Apple Watch Ultra, not the 2. The 2 came out. That's fine. And then, like I said, iPhone 16 Pro. I've got an iPhone 13 Pro around here too. And then iPad mini, nice MacBook. I've got a Mac mini. So I've got all of these devices now. So when I was younger, I really wanted to have all of these devices, and then I would get a device, and then I wouldn't really know what to do with it because I more so just wanted the device itself. And now I am at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm an adult. I got everything. And it's like the dog that catches the vehicle, What do you do when you catch up to the vehicle? I don't know, man. So it's like to have a reason. And when I was younger, I did do video production more, or like I had YouTube videos. And so that is one thing of why I have technology, but I've not been doing videos so much. And it's not like I just want to make the videos. I like making videos, but there are things that can be done with these tools, and one of those things is to better myself, actually, too. So I'm trying to use the technology as tools to better myself and to allow myself to be able to do more things. So I kind of, you find things out, and then you figure out what you like to do. I've been able to get into flow states, kind of like doing research on things that I am interested in. So that's one thing. And then it's like, what do you do with that information once you've got it? So that's where this comes in. So find things that I'm finding things that I like to do, and then how am I able to do things that I like and like survive? That's what everyone wants to do. And one of the things that I'm finding out is I definitely need to figure out like what are the things that make me happy, because like, let's just say you got everything that you wanted, like, then what? Get into philosophical stuff at that point. But if like, let's just say you got what you wanted and you weren't like trying to tell someone about something that that you got, so because that's when you're doing it for yourself. If you're not able to like sit in the enjoyment of the thing, then you're not really doing it for yourself. And that doesn't mean that you can't help people, because you're sitting in your enjoyment. You don't, whatever. Get down into a big rabbit hole. We're already 20 minutes, and I was just going to talk about my iPad mini. This is just an intro video. But like I said, man, these are my thoughts that I had. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm just gonna keep on making series of what I'm doing here, and hopefully we can make some pretty cool progress.